right, we're gonna start that. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Micah Norris.
And I am Mr. Zabo, aka Ross Zabo.
And welcome back to the Often Considered Podcast, episode 6. Yes.
Episode 6.
I know.
And it's an exciting episode. We brought on some Geffen Academy students who started their own podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So introduce yourselves. Tell us about your podcast.
My name is Zach Horvitz. I'm a freshman here, and I'm the co-host of the 745 podcast.
Yeah, I'm Katie, also a freshman here, and I'm the other co-host of the 745 podcast.
I thought you guys were like sophomores
Oh, no.
or juniors. Oh my
that's
God.
crazy.
It's weird because we get it a lot, but
Really?
everyone's always shocked, and it's like
Yeah,
oh,
no
we're
one has
freshmen.
ever guessed my age, right? They
Yeah.
guess way up.
So you guys are class of
27.
20. Okay, I thought it was 28.
No, that's
27.
That's crazy.
Okay. So, question. I just heard about, It's full? Oh, okay. No idea.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna listen.
You can clear it. It's fine. At least we got the first, few parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good start.
My first question for you guys is, why did you guys name it the 745 podcast? What's the backstory?
So me and Zach were in the same chemistry class, and for most of the year we sat next to each other. I don't know about Zach, but I happen to struggle a little bit in chemistry. So usually at 7:45 is when he finishes his sports, and that's when I call him and I say, "Oh, can I have some help?"
That is actually so cool.
Yeah. And then also, because like 7:45 is kind of like when we would call, we release every episode at
At
7:45.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fridays at 7:45.
We need some sort of branding like that.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Zach didn't seem like he struggles with chemistry.
No,
No, he kills at it.
Yeah, I'm coming for advanced chem.
Wow.
I'm not.
Hopefully.
Sorry,
Hopefully.
but no.
Oh God.
And so how long have you all known each other?
Well, I feel like we knew each other actually in like 7th grade
Yeah, like
science.
knew of.
But like we didn't really become friends until like 8th grade.
Yeah, like middle of 8th grade.
Because we had like PE and work period together.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
And y'all been here like
Since 6th grade.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
For a while.
You can come in.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
Jose come in here.
It's okay. There's a lot of technical difficulties this morning. But yeah, I'm so glad you guys decided to come here on the podcast. Yeah, so another question. What do you guys usually talk about on the pod?
That's
you
no,
this
you
one.
got it.
Oh, okay. So we kind of have like a structure. It's kind of like all about answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
So first we just have a question. First we do like a rosebud thorn check-in, and then we have a rapid fire question where we surprise each other with like
Yeah.
a well thought question. So it's kind of like on the fly, and then we decide on a discussion question mostly relative towards like kind of a topic like relative to us. Yeah, and then we do a recap. I'm trying to think of what our last discussion question was.
Oh, it was.
It's okay if you don't.
It was.
You understood? Okay.
It was. What defines a person? Their actions or their words?
Ooh.
Or,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
That's a good question.
That was
Yeah,
the main
something like
question.
that,
and
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it kind of dribbled down to.
What do you think, Zabo?
Actions.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it's actions. Always
Team
actions.
actions.
It should always be actions.
Twins.
There are a lot of people who say things, but if you watch their behaviors,
They don't mean it.
Yeah.
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 Actions take more effort. in
Exactly.
general, unless
Yeah.
you're like a disassociated person who like is good at actions, but you don't actually feel.
Yeah.
And then that's tricky.
That was deep.
That's tricky. Because then they keep doing actions, but just out of their own like lack
Yeah,
of
yeah.
emotion, not because they care.
And you could like think out this whole like elaborate plan, but if you don't do it, then what is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or you could talk about what you're going to do for someone for a really long time, and if you never do it,
Oh, that's no good.
I'm a
But-
victim of that.
but what about but what about this? What if you're friends or in a relationship with someone whose love language is words of affirmation, and in that regard, saying all these things is actually resonating with them, where they're like, "Oh yeah, this person says everything," and then you don't do any actions, but you're meeting their needs with your words.
That's
What happens
so
there?
tricky.
That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't
really
know.
rough.
I kind of had like a theory that like you're kind of defined by the people around you, because there is that thing
Yeah.
where it's like oh, like your 5 closest friends kind of make who you are. But then I'm also thinking, well, like who you like kind of like try to associate yourself with kind of like shows kind of what you want as a person. So I kind of like think kind of towards that realm.
Yeah, like
I
your
actually
reference
agree.
group.
Yeah, I see that. I feel like I've tried to have this sort of conversation with my friends for a while, but was never able to put it in words. So I'm glad you were able to say that. Like, I feel as though like, yes, the people that you hang out with every day really define like, well, they don't define all of who you are, but like who you like want to associate with, and you usually like pick up things that you see in like your environment. So that's why I like to be friends with all types of people, because I like to pull things from, well, not necessarily pull things from other people, but like learn from other people, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I agree. I try to do that too a little
Yeah.
bit.
And then you all wanted to focus your podcast on suicide prevention. How did you make that decision? What happened there?
So originally the idea, well, we didn't even want to do a podcast in the first place. We just made a list of all the things that we wanted to do in our lives, just to know like we've truly lived. So like they're crazy things like skydiving and bungee jumping and like these really insane things. And then we were also like, why don't we just record us doing it? Slowly it like evolved into becoming a podcast. And I think that's when we decided like it's about like we're trying to talk about how important life is. And like, I mean, we don't just talk about suicide prevention. It's a little bit tricky to talk about, but we do things to specifically help out. So we have like wristbands.
I see those.
Yeah.
Mine's
And
on
like,
my
Those are fire.
yeah. And some of the proceeds go to suicide prevention. So
That's awesome.
that's what we've been doing.
How much are they? I want to buy one.
It's
Wristbands.
$2.
One is $2, but 2 is
$3. What a steal now.
And we also have we also have stickers. 1 for $1, 2 for what?
No, it was
$3?
five
No.
for $3.
Oh yeah, 5 for $3. So
People love stickers.
Yeah.
yeah, you
And
can do
wristbands, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be buying one, and I'll put it in the in our YouTube bio if that like helps.
that. Oh, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. But yeah, we usually do a check-in as well. I've like been skipping it for whatever reason. That's not a good thing. But anyways, how have you guys been doing? Like how has the week been going so far?
It's kind of been like a hectic week already. I know we're at the start of the middle of the week, but the break, like I had a really good break, but something about like the transition back, like it's just never
Sucks.
easy.
Yeah.
And I just remember like on coming home on Monday, I'm like, I have 4 more days left. It's gonna be like a tricky week, but next week will be better.
Yeah. I had a free day on Monday. It felt like really nothing. But yesterday, Tuesday, it kind of felt like a lot. I had a bunch of things to do. And now that I'm looking at my calendar, it seems like the rest of my week is pretty busy. So a little bit stressed about that, but it's going to be fine. Like, these aren't like super, super important things. Otherwise, it's been pretty chill.
It seems like the week before break, you all get hammered with work. And then the week after break, they're like, welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to work. My week. So the Saturday as break started, break for you, we had to work. I had a 16-year-old cat. He needed to be put down. And so I started my break having to put the cat down. And then he was bonded. I have another cat who's 7. And so the day I had to put the older cat down, the younger cat just kept going to every room in the house and meowing and looking for him. And it was
sad.
like, that was even sadder than putting the older cat down. But cats don't have like long-term memory. So after like 3 days, he just stopped looking for him.
Are you
And
serious?
then was like, now
Rest in peace.
now he's a solo cat.
Solo cat.
And then we had to work the whole break, so we had parent-teacher meetings. And then,
That sucks.
And then
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
And then on Thursday, I flew to Michigan to keynote a big mental health conference. And
Cool.
then
Nice.
That's
Friday
really cool.
was the keynote, and then I came back.
Did you like Michigan?
I like Michigan. I think that it's an interesting state because there's only a couple cities, and then it's really rural.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
of it's like lakes and land and everything. I was on the western side of Michigan in Grand Rapids, and so it's
No
actually
idea where
pretty
that's
nice.
at.
Isn't it cold there right now?
So it's a weird weather right now. Like it was, I think, 75 in Chicago yesterday.
Oh, that's really.
And so when I was there, it was like 60. It was
That's
like-
not even that bad.
No, but it shouldn't be that.
Yeah, yeah,
It should not be that.
Yeah.
Not that far north.
yeah.
I heard so. I don't know what state it was. I don't think it was Wyoming, but for some reason I feel like it's Wyoming. It said it was like as cold as Antarctica.
What?
When those polar vortexes come down, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But only intermittently, not like.
Yeah,
all
don't
the time.
quote me on that. I think I saw it on like Instagram, like someone sent it to me, and I think, but like yeah, don't quote me up, but like I think so.
It's fine. You can say.
Micah, your check-in. How are you doing?
Oh yeah, I always forget. Honestly, guys, I did not get enough sleep last night, and like I took a mental health day yesterday. Like I was, I didn't come to school because I wasn't feeling it when I woke up in the morning, and because I procrastinated so bad this break, I had so much work like to do back when when we came back. So I was just like, oh, like I should maybe like stay home and like take a mental health day and like at least try to get some work done. I did get some work done, but I didn't get all of my work done, so I still went to sleep at like 12 something and I had to wake up early. It was like all bad, but I can't blame anyone but myself. Like it's definitely all my fault, but I'm just glad to be here and to start my morning with this, because usually this helps me be energetic throughout the day. So yeah.
But this is a good transition actually, because a lot of people use the word mental health for a lot of things now.
I actually meant it though. I meant it though. I meant it.
But I feel like the pendulum around the like language for mental health has swung so far.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah.
Now, not that you just did it, but now we use words that are like actual diagnoses for just normal emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question I had for y'all first is, what do you think about the difference between someone feeling nervous versus someone actually having an anxiety disorder? Like, do you see people using the word anxiety all the time for things that aren't actually anxiety? What do you see?
Yeah, I feel like almost everywhere I go, and like anytime anyone could be stressed or like have any type of things that like completely rely on circumstances, they'll say like, oh, I have so much anxiety, like my anxiety is through the roof. They're probably not diagnosed with anxiety, like I know them, they're not, but they just say it because I feel like the word holds a little bit more meaning now that it's also tied in with a diagnosis. So
Yeah.
Zach, what are you saying?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think also, like, I mean, same thing goes with, like, depression and, like, sadness. Like, because it's okay to be, like, sad, but, like, just because you're sad doesn't mean you're depressed. Like, I feel like depression's more of, like, a more serious long-term kind of deal.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think our mental health like vocabulary is sort of rocky because, like you guys said, I'm just going to echo what you guys said about like how people usually, well, some people I know usually like self-diagnose themselves. Sometimes I even do that, but yeah, I don't know how helpful that is to our mental at all too, because it's like I can say, oh, I'm anxious like all the time, oh, I have anxiety, and then like it's sort of like a placebo effect thing, and then you like actually like start to feel as though you have that all the time. I don't really know how that goes because I've never been like diagnosed with anxiety, but there's definitely times when I felt stressed. But I think our generation needs to be more careful with using that sort of vocabulary.
Yeah. I just want to like say something like,
Go
because
ahead.
like I really resonated when you say like the placebo, because like I feel like a lot of times people like box themselves in with like, and like it's not just like mental health issues either. Like people say like, oh, like I probably can't do this or I probably can't do that, but like I feel like if you kind of just like do it anyways, or just like try like anyways, you might like surprise yourself.
Well, it's interesting because it affects culture, right? So, on one thing we talk about with the seniors right now in wellness is when they get to whatever campus they're going to, there's already a culture there of what is expected.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of campuses have now turned to everyone has anxiety, everyone has depression, everyone's stressed out, no one can sleep, all these other things, but you don't actually have to
be
Yeah.
part of that.
to be in college. Like, you can, like, chart your own course. And I think what's happening in this whole country, and a lot of times, obviously, teenagers always get like blamed for everything, but it's not teenagers that are creating it.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot, like the American College Health Association keeps putting out the statistic that 60% of college students meet the criteria for a mental health problem. What
Really?
does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Like, what's a mental health problem? Is that a bad day?
Yeah.
Is that, like, you have to
Yeah.
be specific. And if you don't have a language, like, just think about your physical health. If you didn't have a language for your physical health, or you were exaggerating everything in your physical health,
That would not be good.
That would mess you up.
That would not be good.
if, like, every pain you had in your ankle, you were like, my ankle's broken.
Yeah.
But, like, it's actually not.
Isn't that a hypochondriac?
Could be.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. So that language piece really does play a role, and it changes what you're saying, like groupthink, your whole psyche.
Yeah.
If you are supposed to be stressed out, if you're supposed to have anxiety, then everyone else around you is going to compete for that. You'd be like, oh, I also
Compete, that's insane. I can kind of see that though, like especially like in high school and middle school. Like I feel like there's this thing. Well, have you guys learned about groupthink yet? I don't know how to define it.
No.
Groupthink is basically in a room, people come up with the same solution, and then they all buy into the same solution.
Yeah.
Or they all buy into the same kind of thought.
Oh.
And so instead of someone being an outsider or someone saying like, hey, this isn't right,
Yeah.
it becomes groupthink from people saying like, this is what we're all going to do.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
actually, you guys will only learn that if you guys take advanced psychology. But when I learned about that, I was like, yeah, that's definitely the case. I feel like for any generation, groupthink is just like such a huge thing. Like,
Yeah.
especially if you're in a competitive high school environment, like you're gonna want to not necessarily fit in with everybody, but you would like want to resonate with everybody. Like, you can look at a person or like your friend, and they'll be like, oh my god, I'm so stressed about this English assignment. I have so many paragraphs to write about, and then like you have the same assignment, and then you'll just be like, wait, I should be stressed about this too. Like this is probably going to take longer than I expect. So maybe I should be stressed about it too. And it's just it's so bad. And I wonder, like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think is like the best solution to get rid of that thinking? Like, how would you guys go about that?
Like me personally, like whenever I hear something, and not that I agree with it too fast, but like I try and like corroborate it and be like, is this valid? Is this kind of like what I agree with? And like I just like stop for a second and I'm like, no, wait, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel it like it's like probably more mild, but like during tests, if I'm the first to finish and like no one's finished for a long
my
time,
god, yeah.
I'm thinking, wait, I definitely like missed the whole page.
That's real.
Yeah.
Didn't answer
Oh,
like
for
half
sure.
the questions
Yeah.
or something. But me and Zach have this thing where it's just like trust your gut, trust your instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So if I really did end up obviously people make mistakes, but like if I really did end up finishing it that fast and it was just like easy for me, then good for me. Like all good.
So, but both of you are identifying like personal confidence or strength. Like,
Yeah.
believing in yourself. I think a lot of times, and this isn't just teenagers, like adults are the worst at competing to see who's more stressed out. Like even I made a joke at this conference I just spoke at on Friday. I was like, I guarantee you, a lot of you saw people for the first time you haven't seen. And so when they were like, how are you? Your first answer was, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you're checking in with someone and they say they're busy, the most automatic response is, I am also busy.
Yeah.
And then you try to out busy each other, and it's a competition nobody actually
Yuck.
wins.
Yeah.
But you see that play out in every age group right now,
Yeah.
where a lot of students, like you were saying, might be like, well, I'm so stressed out, I have to do this thing. Well, then that's only going to encourage someone else to be like, I am also stressed out. I also have homework. And then you start listing how much homework you have, how much you have to study. And depending on what age you are, what's next. For like younger students, it's extracurricular activities, stuff like that. For older students, it's like, I have college apps.
Yeah.
And I have my parents and all this other stuff. But nobody wins that competition.
Nobody.
Yeah. It's kind of like an endless spiral.
Yeah.
Do you know why people are like a lot more busy than you?
Part of it, I believe, and I could be wrong, is our brains gravitate towards negative. They gravitate towards negative thoughts. Like, we remember 10 negative things for every positive thing we remember,
Yeah.
right? And so I think there's a part of it that's like, oh, this is something negative, so I'm going to latch onto it and just run with it.
Yeah.
And then I do think there's a culture around it. Because this isn't, like, in all of the places I've lived, this isn't happening everywhere. Other places, you
Is
ask people how they're doing, and they're like, I'm chill.
Oh, is it especially
okay.
like strong in LA?
No, I'm talking about in the world.
Oh,
in the
okay.
U.S., it tends to
Especially
be
strong, okay.
like super like busy. Other developed nations, it tends to be super busy, but it's not the case in a lot of
Yeah.
other cultures. Also, the United States of America is the only developed nation in the world that has a life expectancy that's going down.
I saw that. That
Every
is
other
very
awkward.
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Life expectancy is going up, and the number one reason they cite for the U.S. is stress.
I think
That's
another
not good.
That's
yeah,
really bad.
I think another reason this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but I think another reason is literally because of the food that they're putting in our grocery stores. I'm just gonna leave it there because I could literally talk all day about
Yeah, like
how that's the
applesauce
case.
has lead in it. Did you know that?
What?
Applesauce has straight lead in it.
no.
Stop.
I
Please tell me
I
that's a
love
lie.
applesauce.
I used to
You
love
just
applesauce.
ruined-
It's like,
you
bro,
just
There's
ruined
like a few
apple-
companies that got listed in the New York Times thing about like they have so much lead in it.
A lot of foods that we eat in the
Is it
United
a go-go
States
Cinnamon
squeeze?
are banned.
Are you
in
serious?
Other countries.
Like in
Stanley
the actual
too?
like
Oh my god.
All of it.
the
has
cups?
Yep. Straight
You're
lead.
joking.
Yeah, my Stanley is no longer with me now.
You
yeah,
lost your
I have
Stanley?
a Nawala.
A wall. I haven't heard of the Awala yet. Wow.
Yeah, I actually don't.
It looks like
recommend-
a kindergarten like design.
Yeah, it's huge. It's like a rocket ship.
Is it bigger than like the Yeti too?
No, it's 32 ounces. It's not like as wide as a Stanley,
Uh-huh.
but it's like a thick, like it looks like a log.
That's interesting. Have you seen the video of like someone got into a car crash or like their car got like
Oh, and
it
the
set on
Stanley
fire
like
and the
survived.
Stanley was still there?
Yeah.
That's insane.
But there's like the lead is like in the insulation. What? Yeah.
I think to
Oh,
your
God.
point, it's important to know what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
other countries, a lot of the food we eat here, or some of the ingredients we eat here, aren't even legal
Exactly.
Yeah.
in
exactly.
other countries. So, like, part of it is right. Your environment is going to dictate your mental health. Some of the things that are happening right now, like we talk about language is important. We can go back to it. Is the environment in this country doesn't support mental health, and then you're blamed
At
for
all.
not having mental
Exactly.
health.
at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
At all.
the cost of living's too high, like all this other stuff is happening. There's not access to mental health professionals, all this other stuff. And then when you don't have good mental health, you're like, why don't you have good mental health? But you're like literally in a cage that would
Yeah.
just be like not allowing you to have good
Exactly.
mental health.
And even when there is access to mental health, is usually in places where like other people can afford like going to therapy and can afford a psychiatrist. That I always thought that was interesting. I don't want to go into that because like I don't want to flame them because I think therapists and psychiatrists are good people. It's just like the prices. Like I guess they're valid, but like we need to give access to everybody because everyone in America needs it. Everybody. But did you guys know that we're like going through like a recall like with cheese and stuff in the grocery stores?
What? No.
Did that? I'm sorry if that felt random, but like there's Costco, Trader Joe's, like all the
Cheese?
no.
Like the slices?
Like-
Let me. Oh my
mean,
god! I
there
want to
are
look it up
typically-
now. I
hold
feel
on, there are
dumb.
typically food recalls. That's a regular thing.
There are
Oh, it's a
typically-
listeria. It's a
typically-
listeria
There's
outbreak.
typically food recalls. Like they might find that meat has like hepatitis in it or something
Yeah.
else, and they'll try to recall it all.
and then like the baby formula too.
Look,
Yes.
what's the latest on the cheese listeria outbreak? I'm being
Oh,
so
you're
serious.
on
I
it,
read
you're
this
on it.
yesterday,
I
bro.
know there was some lettuce thing like.
Lettuce
I heard about that,
happens.
yeah.
I mean, just think about how much food has to be produced for the hundreds of millions of people in this
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest process.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what you put, but the main point, let's table
Yeah,
this.
my fault.
The main point is what you put in your body affects your mental health.
Yeah.
What the
That-
environment
yeah.
you live in affects your mental health. And you all are in a pretty academically rigorous school.
Yeah.
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 So maintaining your mental health in an academically rigorous school is tough. If other people are saying they're stressed out, would any of you want to be the person who's like, actually, guys, I'm not stressed out? Like,
No, you're getting
definitely
hated
don't wanna
on.
say
You're
it.
getting hated on.
I'm pretty sure in my head I'd be like, I think I'm chilling, but like, I don't want to be that one guy who's
That'd
like,
be-
actually, I'm like,
Actually,
no,
yeah. no.
or when everyone says like, this test is so hard, if the test isn't hard, would any of you want to be like, actually, guys, the test is easy?
No.
No,
No, 'cause-
and I hate
absolutely
when
not.
people do that too because it
Yeah.
just makes me more
Yeah,
stressed.
Like I don't like okay, I don't want to be that guy, but I do not get cold. Like I just like I don't get cold, and then I made the mistake. I was like, "Are you guys cold?" Like I'm not cold, and then I just got the hardest like side eyes and
Damn.
like it was
They're
not,
just mean.
Yeah.
It's also because LA
know.
isn't cold. Like, I grew up on
that
the
is
East
a
Coast.
Yes,
lie.
that's so true.
That is a
That's
lie.
so true.
Hold on. I
Yo,
didn't-
LA is cold.
LA is
Hold-
freezing.
Hold on. I didn't realize this. So, this
I don't know
school's
what's
been-
going on with them.
I'm
This
so
school has
cold.
been open for 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So the other day, like 2 weeks ago, someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, did you ever notice that like in all these 7 years you've never worn a jacket to work. You've never like shown that you're cold. And I take public transportation. Like I am outside.
All right, but you
And I
grew
was
up in
like,
Philly though.
Oh yeah, then that's like you grew up in somewhere where you're not
The people
cold.
that are born in LA, like when it hits 68, bro,
Dude,
it's so
I'm freezing
cold.
all the
It's been in
time.
the 40s.
Especially when it's
Yeah.
like
40.
windy.
That is so wind, rain,
Ugh,
like all of it is
it's
so
bad.
so nasty. And I'm always cold. And Zach is not cold, but I'm always cold.
Me too. One thing about me, I'm always gonna bring like a big jacket, but then throughout the day, like I'll get like heat flashes. But I don't care. Like if it's cold in the morning, I'm gonna bring a big jacket with me. Like
I sleep at a really hot temperature too.
I actually can't.
I
do
warm
that.
up my room because I get so cold. Like I'm in long sleeve pajamas and a hoodie and a blanket and I sleep
gosh.
at like it used to be really bad, like 80 degrees. But I've lowered it because
Bro.
apparently it's
Whoa.
so bad for you.
It is not.
So
good
now
to
it's at
sleep.
75.
Wait, why is it bad?
Because germs and other things get
Yeah.
like in heat they get
They
the
grow.
culture. Like think about like hospitals are cold because
Yeah.
you want to keep the
Oh,
temperature
yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
I didn't even
So
know
that you're
about the
not-
So
hospital.
now my room is 75.
That's still pretty warm.
That's
Well,
the one.
I can't do any lower. I tried. 70 is crazy. Like and my room
I
is
put my room to
is
70.
the bottom floor, and one of my walls is glass.
Oh,
So heat is leaving me all the time.
right. That makes sense.
I'm trying to keep it with me.
But the main point I'm trying to get to here is if you all wanted to change the culture, nobody's going to want to be the person who speaks up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not stressed.
I'm gonna be the
My
one.
work is done. This test was easy. I don't have anxiety.
Yeah.
Everything's good because and to Micah's point, that's groupthink.
Yeah.
So if everyone is saying they're stressed out, they have too much work, then even if Zach's like, I'm not cold, I'm not stressed, the groupthink piece is, well, I'm gonna say it because I don't want to be the person
Yeah.
who is
Yeah.
counter to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like we like kind of hate on people who aren't also struggling.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
see that.
That's
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
They think they are.
Yeah.
Well,
Why
I
aren't they
don't say
also
that. I'm
in
not
it?
like I don't be a hater, but like sometimes I have hater tendencies in my heart. Like if I'm obviously I just feel like for every human being, if you're just like not doing good in life and you see somebody doing great, like you're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna be like, I need to get on top of it. Either that
Yeah.
or you're
Yeah.
just gonna look at them, be like yuck, and then just
Privileged person.
and then just not fix anything about yourself. Cause
Yeah. I think it's so hard for you to be happy for someone when you're just not where you could be.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the other thing too is like a lot of young people today also we're not doing enough to create an environment to take care of their mental health and then also blaming them for not having their mental health taken care of. Like I think the entire college application process,
I don't even.
there's no way to not have it mess up
Yeah.
your mental health. You have everyone applying to the same 100 schools and then also simultaneously being prepared not to get in. You have all this pressure from your peers, from your families. People start talking about it at such a young age. Like,
Yeah.
I think that really harms people.
I think talking about it at such a young age has been like the biggest harm. Like I got
Yeah.
the big college talk in second grade.
Second.
grade.
I had
got
it-
mine
I-
in sixth, bro.
Like I was like everything I do like since sixth grade has been. Well, are you gonna do this for college? Like, no, dude. Like, yearbook is the only thing I do for myself. Everything else is so like college centered. Everything I do is college centered.
And how do you
kind of
like?
unfortunate?
Wait, what do you do? Sorry,
Well-
I was gonna ask another question, but it was gonna be an obvious answer. But
Oh.
like, do you like? I'm assuming like you juggle like multiple extracurriculars,
Yeah.
like a sport, and then like another outside thing that's academic. Cause I know like there's a few Geffen kids that juggle so many things and probably only like one as well.
Yeah, I'm on the tennis team, and then I'm the what's it called? The lead of the mock trial competition team at Geffen.
Yeah, I just feel like that. It's just so harmful to be putting all of us through that, and it's just like the college process is just so I can't really like fathom what goes on in those rooms because it's just like you have people that can have a bad day and then they can read your awesome essay and then they'll be like, you suck, you're not getting in. Like it's just
true, though.
it's so
that's-
subjective.
that's
so true.
It's
And-
so subjective.
And like I was like that's like so like real because like a lot of the times people will be having a bad day and it's not just the college application that you get sent. It's like you could be like your friend could tell you like I don't know something like a really funny joke, but if you're just in a bad mood like
You're
are
not gonna laugh.
Yeah. Like and so like I don't know, it's just like all about like your mental state. I
Yeah.
think, like just yeah.
maybe we should fix the mental state of college admissions first.
Yeah, they only can be happy.
Yeah.
They can only be
It
happy.
is a shift over the past couple decades because people, even 20 years ago, were just trying to go to college. They weren't trying to get into the top
Yeah.
college.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, been one of the biggest shifts. And then also the cost. Like,
So
yeah.
expensive
Yeah.
to go to college.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're taking that on, so you're already thinking about, like, how stressful that's going to be. That's why you have more people in their 20s living at home than ever before because people can't afford to live on their own.
Yeah.
And even if you got a job out of college, you might still live at home because there isn't enough support or the
Yeah.
rent in a city is
Yeah.
too high and you can't afford it. And then that slows down your entire development because you got to be in your mid-20s checking in with your family to be like, can I do something? Like, what's going on? 'Cause you still live at home.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is really contributing to the youth mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Can you expand on how like being at home in your 20s or in your 30s like affects your development?
When you are not independent, then you may be relying on people for decisions that you may have had to make independently. And also economically, you're not building up the kind of accumulation of things that you need. Like a lot of times people think like, oh, I'll live at home and I'll save that money.
Right.
But that's going to affect your credit. It's also going to affect
Yeah.
your ability to show that you can do things on your own. And now housing is so expensive.
Oh yeah,
People
no.
can't even buy homes.
Yeah.
So then if you're able to save that money because you're living at home, great. That might help you put a deposit, but most people can't. They're
Yeah.
living at home because they need the actual support, and then they're not saving, and so everything's getting delayed. It's like the other day, I asked the advanced psychology class, they changed the study of adolescence. It used to be 12 to 18,
Yeah.
and now you're considered an adolescent until you're 25.
Yeah, I heard about
That's
that.
I mean that's kind of valid because like even college students are still like rowdy and almost
Yeah.
childish. Like I mean most or, I don't know, like I'm not a college student, but I assume at least some college students, even like high school students are pretty mature and like adultish. But like yeah, a lot of like I mean like even like I know like I've heard like a big crisis about like people in their 30s being like, well like what makes me like an adult? Like,
Yeah, I've seen videos about that too,
Like,
yeah.
what or like I don't know. Like what they're like talking about. Oh, what makes me a man? Like how old I am, or like when I get a car, like something like that. And so like I don't know. Like it's not like a age. I feel like. Almost.
Yeah, I wanted to second on that. I literally saw an Instagram reel yesterday about like a 30-year-old saying, "Oh yeah, I started over. I'm doing this," and I think that's actually no. I've been seeing so many like 20, 30-year-olds saying, "Oh, like I was only born to be a teenager like my whole life, like this and this and that." And I think I agree with you on how you don't really. I think adulthood is a thing that comes in. It doesn't come in on at the same time as everyone else. Like I feel like especially for our generation. Well. Actually don't know. I won't be making up a statistic. I can't be like Mr. Zabo, but I think
I don't make up statistics.
no, oh, wait, oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. Actually didn't mean it like that. I meant like I can't like
I get it. It's all
I
good.
yeah, I
You're fine.
can't be on the spot with it. But yeah, I think adulthood is a thing that it doesn't come in at the same time for everybody. Like it's just a thing that I think it only happens for certain people. Like if it only happens earlier if you've been through if you've been through adult things at a young age. It only happens like later on if you're, I don't know, if you have like security. Like help me out here, come on.
Well, so I want to let Katie comment on this before I comment again.
Okay.
But what are your thoughts about adolescence to 25?
Well, what's the age in which your brain fully develops?
Around 25.
Yeah, so I think that's fair. Like once your like brain is fully there.
like-
But here's
Okay,
hold
I do
on.
agree. 25 is a bit old because that's 1 year away from not having your parents like health insurance.
I feel like your
So it is
brain,
a little
yeah.
bit old,
But
but
But also, here's my only counterpoint.
Okay, go ahead.
The human brain hasn't changed. It has been the same for thousands of years.
Yeah.
14
Actually,
and
didn't know that.
15-year-olds used to have jobs. Back in the day when life expectancy wasn't long, they used to have families.
Oh,
They
I wanted
used
to talk about that.
do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And even in the 90s, teenagers weren't considered adolescents till 25. And so my only fear, and I could 100% be wrong, my only fear is if we keep telling people you're an adolescent until you're 25, then you may not try.
It's like boxing yourself in.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Again, okay,
we can't do that,
So
guys.
that's my fear is like, okay, so then what's going to stop it from moving from 25? And then you all are disempowered.
Yeah.
Because then you can say like, well, my brain's not mature. Your brain is mature enough.
The victimizing is crazy.
Your brain is mature enough. Your prefrontal cortex, while it doesn't fully develop till 25, it exists now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use it now.
Yeah, I think like it's like till adolescence should be 18, but like there's a grace period from
Okay.
18 to 25.
Okay.
I see that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
deserve some
that's
grace because
valid.
your still brain's not fully there,
Yeah.
but you're
And you're not
also,
really
like,
legal till you're 21.
exactly. So
Well, you can vote
grace
at 18.
period. Grace period.
Well, you're not legal till you're 21, if you know what I
It's just
mean.
substances.
Yeah,
You're not
so
legal
till you're 21.
People don't care about that. They're using substances under 21 anyway.
But like it's
people
more
do.
official.
You get it. But no, I think I'm a firm believer that your brain is always going to be developing as long as you're alive. But I feel like there are some points where it's like your some part of your brain just stop growing because of like your experiences or whatever.
I just don't want y'all to think your brains don't exist right now.
No, it
You-
do.
you
No,
know
no, they do.
do.
Like,
it does.
yeah.
I understand.
Because I see a lot of students now taking that data and being like, well, I do this because my brain. No, you can actually learn behaviors at any
Yeah.
age that actually support you. You don't have to wait until that brain fully connects.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like if we like started like a culture of like wanting to kind of be like independent and like not like adult. I mean, like me personally, I want to like get a job and like and get out there and like I don't
Be
know, live
something.
on my own
Yeah.
but like because if we just start doing that, then I feel like people will be more like supportive like of themselves.
Yeah. Having confidence and like taking that initiative is definitely what we should start doing now. I think if you really want to do something, you work for it. And if you just don't groupthink, then you should be fine. Like
Yeah.
if you start now,
But groupthink is so hard to stop.
it is a hard thing to stop. But I think being self-aware and like knowing what you want can really get you far. Just having some sort of self-identity and checking in with yourself from time to time, I think that can help.
Did you have a wrap up for this episode at all? Because we are.
I think that was my wrap-up.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Was it a good wrap-up, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have anything else to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like with group thinking, like just because people are group thinking doesn't mean you have to like not group think. Because if it's like a valid idea, don't feel discouraged to group think with people. But
I
if it's
understand, yeah.
something like you're like wait, that's not quite right, then like go with your gut.
I just want to finish off and say thank you for having us on here.
Well,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My wrap up quickly.
You got
is
it.
Just that, there is a difference between feeling nervous and having anxiety.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
When you feel
Oh, yeah.
nervous, the opposite of that is being calm. When you have anxiety, the opposite of that is being able to see reality.
Yeah.
There's a difference between feeling depressed and having depression. When you feel depressed, the opposite of that is being happy.
Yeah.
The opposite of actually having clinical depression is vitality and having energy to even get out of bed and do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it really is important for y'all to think about what is good stress that motivates you
Yes.
and what is bad stress that debilitates you. Because if you start processing all stress as being bad, the longitudinal data on that is not. It's not.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So think about, even in your group thing, when something is motivating you, it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
It's okay to be like, yeah, this is hard, but I got
Exactly,
this.
yeah.
You don't have to shame other people and be like, you suck, you don't got it. But you can say, like, I got this, I'm moving forward. That's also going to change your mindset versus the constant group think of, like, everything's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on.
No,
No.
yeah,
no
thank
problem.
you.
for having
Thank
us.
you for
Really great.
having us.
Yeah.
I will be tuning into the pod now.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.